All right, so are we rolling? Yeah. We're rolling. So, um, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of your hopefully potentially favorite podcast. Bear with me, with your host, me, obviously, uh, the guy um that has no that has no particular definite or predictable schedule for, is it schedule or well, how is it even pronounced? Is it schedule? Whatever. I have no particular or predictable schedule for like uploading these podcasts because obviously life gets in the way. So there, welcome back to another episode of the podcast that gets that you receive randomly without any warning and without any announcement, and you just get them. And the first thing I want to say is that I am absolutely sorry for the fucking. Okay, I'm going to apologize for two things. First of all, the first thing I'm going to apologize for is how horrible the audio of the previous podcast, the previous episode was. It was absolutely horrible, and I have no excuse for it. But if I am going to not be my own devil's advocate, like if I'm just going to try to appeal to myself, my mic is shitty, so that's one excuse, I guess. Um, but I don't actually have any excuse because I listened to it and I couldn't even hear anything I was saying, and I said a lot. I said a lot of stuff that that needs to be heard, but the audio was just so bad, and I don't think anybody enjoyed it. So I am sorry about that. The second thing I'm going to be apologizing for is that I am going to try my best to not use as much f bombs as possible. Okay, I already dropped one already, so let that one just, let's not count that one. All right. So, welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone has been good. I hope everyone has been good. Though. Listen, the World Cup has started, right? Listen, I'm not even a football fan. See, everybody in my family loves football, and I just happen to be the oddball out. I just happen to be the one person that that just doesn't find football appealing or interesting. Like fucking I've already dropped another F bomb. Like 22 people just, is it 22? 20 people running around and two people trying to running around chasing the ball and two people trying to catch it, and for like fucking 90 minutes. It just doesn't do it for me. Like it doesn't do it for me. The sport I enjoy the most is Formula One. I enjoy Formula One, and I don't know why a lot of people don't really, or should I say, a lot of Nigerians or Africans in general don't really give a hoot about Formula One. But I enjoy Formula One a lot. And if you're following this season, I mean, it's crazy, but I'm not going to go into that at all because that's not what I'm that's not what I want to talk about. What I'm trying to say is that the World Cup has started, and even though I am not really a football fan and I don't know much about football, I happen to know because my colleagues at work or my friends have been talking about it. I happen to know that something something that is unexpected, that something that people think is impossible actually actually became possible. So what fucking is it, what's the country that beats, Australia? Is it Australia? No, not Australia. Argentina. Yeah. What's the country that beat Argentina? Fucking Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. That's even I, that I am not a football fan, know that that is impossible to do. But yet, it happened today, And for people who gamble, for people who play betting, for people who do all that stuff, which again I don't do, because you have to understand that the house always wins. Like gambling is not a game of experience, or a game of what's this word now I'm trying to remember. Gambling is not a game of when you're good at something. What's the word for when someone expertise? Yes, gambling is not a game of expertise. It's just a game of luck. Like it's just a game of chances. You understand? Like you're going to lose a lot, and then you're going to win a little bit. So because at the end of the day, the house always wins, and you can't. There is no escaping from that. It's just something that people have to accept, but yet people cannot accept. See, I always talk about. I don't know why. I don't know why everything always comes back to my favorite book of all time, 1984 by George Orwell, right? So he talks about the pros, right? He talks about the pros. I don't know if anybody has read the book, you understand what he meant by the pros. But basically, the pros are just the common people, people who don't matter, people who are deemed the statistic, right? People who just exist, the NPCs of our today, right? Like for example, if you play online games, or if you play open world games, like let's say GTA, like the people you see around, are the people you see around, the NPCs, the non-playable characters, are just the pros. So basically, that's what he's trying to say. The pros who don't matter, who can't fight, who can't stand up for themselves, who don't know, who are being controlled by the upper echelons and the most powerful people. Like the pros are the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, right? So everyday humans. He talks about how when it comes to gambling, when it comes to like trying to win the lottery, they seem to be more, they seem to know how to work the numbers. They seem to be very educated and very enthusiastic about trying to win the lottery. Meanwhile, in reality, ghosts basically, according to the book anyway, ghosts basically win the lottery. But these pros, these common people never seem to understand it. So that's just what I'm trying to, if we're just going to like circle back to my initial frame of thoughts, that's just what I'm trying to say. If you're someone who gambles, right? I just I just see you as a pro. Like for example, the other day I not the other day, one time I followed someone to a fucking betting house, and there were a lot of people in there. It was crazy. And the first thing I remembered was the first thing I remembered was just the pros mentioned in the book. It's like everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry are just trying to win this rat race that in reality nobody wins, because the house obviously is always the winner. Nobody seems to get it for some strange reason. They just want to they keep spending every cent they have just to win. And to me, everybody in that betting house just looked like a pro. And it's sad actually. Gambling is a very sad, addictive phenomenon that we humans engage in. People have lost their lives because of gambling. But I mean, we all know that it's not something that I have to come and start explaining to you. We all know the dangers of gambling. It can be very addictive. It can be like, when I don't know if you've seen this movie, Uncut Gems on Netflix. Like it portrays the exact feeling of a gambler's life. Like fucking Adam Sandler, though we all know him for being in comedy movies, but he really knocked that one out of the park. Like that movie was crazy, bro. Like gambling is like you want, like it's so fucking, it's like Smiggle. wanting the ring, like Smegu from Lord of the Rings, right? Like he's so addicted to that. I don't. He just it's a continuous high that people cannot stop chasing, and it's bad. It's sad that people get it fucks people up at the end of the day. So back to the fucking World Cup stuff. If you gamble, if you play sports betting or whatever they call it, and you happen to play that Argentina is going to win Saudi Arabia, I'm sure people who gamble like let's say 95% of people played that Argentina is going to win fucking Saudi Arabia, and then at the end of the day, 95% of people. Do you know how much money just from that bet alone? Do you know how much money the fucking betting houses have gained, have gotten from you guys? It's like it's outrageous. So 95% of people just lost. Just lost. And it's crazy. It's crazy that things we didn't know, it's crazy that something we didn't think can ever happen actually happened. And you start to wonder, was it actually rigged? Like, I mean, we know Saudi Arabia is a very rich country and Argentina is a very poor country. Is that something that happens? Is it like, we know that FIFA is corrupt? I mean, the fucking World Cup is taking place in one of if not the richest country in the world, the richest country in the world, actually. So that's where we're doing the fucking World Cup in Qatar. And meanwhile, Qatar has been known to be so inhumane to their workers and people who they deem are below what they think humans are supposed to be. Or should I say should I say reputable humans are supposed to be. Well, I was there's this documentary I was watching, right, that insinuated that Qatar bribed FIFA to host the World Cup back in 2010, bribed them to host the World Cup, and like 6,500 immigrant workers since 2010 have died from building hotels, stadiums, bars, and all of that stuff. And it's just horrible, man. And they don't pay the fucking workers, which is just sad. They don't pay them. They don't pay them to the point that most of the workers end up committing suicide. And and everybody just seems to not give a hoot about it, because I don't know. People, what I'm going to say is that people are not talking about it that much. Like, people, they're not. Nobody is like. Everybody's just respecting the fact that Qatar is a very wealthy country, and they have this immeasurable amount of power that nobody can stand against, and we're just going to like bow to their whims and do whatever they tell us to do. They don't want fucking gay people. They don't want drinking. Why? It's not as if there are no gay people in Qatar. There are. Obviously, we know there are gay people in Qatar. There are gay people in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, all these fucking Islamic countries. There are, and they drink and they do a lot of dumb shit. I mean, you've heard about these Instagram models, right? That go to Dubai all the time. You see Instagram models, you see them in Dubai, you see them on camels, you see them in the desert, you see them on boats, you see them chilling, but you don't know what these, and then they come back and then they buy houses in Victoria Island, they buy houses in Banana Island, they buy cars, they are flexing on, they're stunting on you and all of that stuff. You don't know what these girls do over there, but I'm going to tell you, if you didn't know already, I'm going to tell you what these girls do over there. These fucking Abu Dhabi fucking let's not just say Muslim people. Let's say Arabs, basically. These people invite these girls and then make the girls sign NDAs and make the girls. First of all, there is an agreement that there are certain things that the girls are going to do for these men, right? These are very perverse, sick men, right? So because they have money and power, there are things that, like, let me, okay, listen. When you have power, right? Like when someone, when you feel like you're in a position of power, there are things that are no longer as satisfactory as they used to be when you didn't have power. I don't know if anybody has experienced that before. Like when you find yourself in a position of authority, there are things that you just feel like um don't like you want to achieve, like you want to do, you want to get a grasp on because you hold that power. Do you understand? Like there's a saying, when someone has a hammer, everything begins to look like a nail to them, right? I don't know if anybody has ever held a gun. Like if you hold a gun, like there's this spirit that takes over you and you just want to shoot it. You just want to shoot it, or at the very least threaten someone with it. I don't know if anybody has ever experienced that before. I have, obviously. I have, but I don't know if it's just me anyway. So absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? That's that saying that they say. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so, because these men feel like they are in this position of power, they bring these girls over. Sometimes men too. I mean, we have Bob Risky in Nigeria. Fucking, what is the other one's name? I don't know. I don't know their names, but supposedly this is what they do there. So they get these girls over to Dubai and they make them sign this fucking NDA, and then they pee on the girls, they shit on the girls, they make the girls fuck their camels, they make the girls have sex with their underaged children, they do a lot of shit to the girls, they humiliate them, they fucking do just outrageous things on them. And at the end of the week, they pay them 500,000 to 150,000, sometimes $1 million, and then the girls come back to Nigeria, they come back to America, they come back to fucking Australia or Russia or whatever, because these are where most of the girls are picked from. And then they start stunting on you, and you start feeling bad about yourself because you don't have what they have, without you knowing how they got them. Like most of these fucking Instagram models live really sad lives. Like really, really sad lives. But yet you selling your small your small wig, you doing your small business, you feel like you're not doing enough. Let me tell you something, you're doing absolutely fine. Understand? You don't have to be envious of people you don't know how they got their wealth, or how they get their influence and stuff. You don't have to be envious of them. You're doing absolutely fine. Yeah. So the world is stunned that Saudi Arabia beats fucking Argentina, and I am suspecting, I might be wrong. In fact, there is a 99.9% chance that I am wrong, and this was just an act of providence that Saudi Arabia beats Argentina. So that's that about that. And on the issue of fucking, still on the issue of these Arabs, uh yesterday I think, right? um Iran lost. Iran lost their own football match. They don't, these Iranians, not to be not to generalize, right? We're just focusing on the government. Like whenever I am criticizing a country, I am mostly criticizing their government, not the people. People might be nice, not the government though. So in this case, I am talking about the government of Iran, not Iran. Iran is a Turkish drink. Iran, the government of Iran, they cannot play ball. They don't have good governance. They don't know anything. The only thing they know is to kill 15,000 peaceful protesters. Like, I don't know if anybody else has heard the news that the protesters in Iran that were protesting, that got arrested, all 15,000 of them are to be executed in Iran for protesting against the quote unquote fucking the government, whatever. So my question is, how do you execute 15,000 people? Like, where, how do you, like, what is the, what, I want to understand the procedure of how you execute 15,000. I mean, executing 15 people is like a whole process on its own. But then how do you execute 15 entire thousand people? Like, what do you do? Do you shoot all of them? Do you gas them? Do you run them over with trucks? Or do you like mass murder them in like a fucking mass grave? Like, what do you do with 15,000 souls on your hand? Like, what do you do with them? Like, isn't it better? Isn't it easier to release them and then at least listen to their pleas instead of like going through the whole process of killing one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh my god. How do these people are so out of touch with reality that their actions are so absurd and so outrageous and just unnatural and unrealistic, but yet they will still go forward with it. It does not make any sense at all. People are just trying to live their lives. People just want freedom. People just want to be free. People just want to be able to express themselves naturally as humans are supposed to do. But you, because of your unnatural and greedy grasp for power, you want to just keep that power for yourself and for you alone, and you don't want people to experience it. You don't want people to fucking know what it feels like to be free. You just want to like shut everybody up. It doesn't make any sense, man. And speaking of, and kudos to these Iranians that are fighting for human rights, for actual human rights, basically. Like, kudos to them, man. Because over to the west in America, where we have all these fucking trans people who go about seeking for trans, whatever they call it, freedom or whatever. Those people are just deceiving themselves, because America is so free to the point that they are now being arrogant with it. Like, we have over here, like over here not here anyway, over in Iran, where people are fighting for their lives, literally. Like, there are 15,000 people who are about to be executed. Meanwhile, over in America, we have people who are fighting, who are men, who are claiming to be women, fighting for abortion rights. Like, it does not even make any sense. It does not even make any sense. Like, what? But what are you saying? Like, what do you mean, sir? Or God, what are you trying to say? You're a man now. You see, I can accept to call you a woman or a she if you at least respect yourself enough. Like, and again, another thing again is that the women now in America, the so-called leftists and woke people, are now supporting these men. They don't even respect themselves enough to understand that a man can never be a woman. It's not possible. You can dress it. It's like okay, so I don't know if anybody, I'm a nerd though. See, I don't know if anybody follows or if anybody knows. Obviously you have to know now. You know Hot Wheels. I'm sure everybody knows Hot Wheels. So there is this Hot Wheels vehicle, right? That is worth about $100,000. It's like a purple van. You can Google it, right? There's a purple van Hot Wheel toy car that is worth $100,000. That's how it's so rare and so properly, like, it's so rare that people somebody bought it for $100,000, but it's a toy car. Now, can this car travel 500 miles? No. Can it carry passengers? No. Can it carry goods or like stuff? No, it cannot. Does it bring joy when you drive it? No. Can you even enter it? You cannot enter it, but it's this $100,000 toy car can be is more expensive than your 1994 Honda Civic or your or your Volkswagen Passat. You understand? It's more expensive than that. But at the end of the day, the Volkswagen Passat and the 1994 Honda Civic can do a lot more than this toy car. So that's just how I see trans people. Like, yes, you can have your $5,000 butt lift surgery. You can have your $15,000 breast implant surgery. You can have your lip injections. You can grow your hair. You can do whatever you can change your dressing and so just cosmetically enhance yourself. But at the end of the day, brother, you're still a man. Your bones are still stronger than a natural female's own. You still have more higher testosterone than women. You're still tougher, you're still faster, you're still stronger at the end of the day. That's just the biological fact about it. There is no changing of it. There is no you can deny it all you want, but the truth will still remain the truth. You forever be a man, you can never be a woman. We can call you like the way we call Caitlyn Jenner now. They call someone that was an Olympian back in 1994. So he's now a woman. He now won Woman of the Year. We can agree. We can at least out of respect call you woman, but you're not a woman. So this is what these Americans are fighting for. Meanwhile, at the other side, on the other side of the war of the planet, there are people fighting for freedom, and they are about to be executed. So how do you execute 15,000 people? It does not make any sense, brother. It does not make any sense at all. So kudos to the Iranians, man. They are doing what most people they are facing what most people will never face in their lives, and they are doing what most people will never do in their lives. So if you believe in God or whatever, pray for them or pray for all these people that are about to be executed. Don't even and also we, why is nobody talking about it? So like the whole world is just silent. Nobody wants to talk about and why are they in the World Cup? Like, is it that the FIFA organizers, obviously not FIFA organizers, the FIFA organization, is it that see, listen, obviously we know that FIFA is corrupt, right? They are racist, they are corrupt, their own wahala is like their own wahala is at the other end of the fence. You understand? Their own wahala is not here. So, but then you cannot tell me that every single person in the FIFA organization is corrupt. You cannot tell me that everybody is corrupt. There has to be at least one good egg who has to be against Iran, or who has to be against Iran participating in anything at all. The same, and it's not going to be nice if the people of Iran are just silenced, right? Obviously, it's not going to be nice, but at least let us just. Is it possible to like make the government of Iran uncomfortable in some way, shape, or form? Like they cannot have that kind of power now. Like there has to be something that can that the rest of the world can do to hurt them a little bit. You understand? To like tell them not to execute 15,000 people, which doesn't make any sense. Come on now. There has to be something like that. So it's just sad, man. It's just fucking sad. So, yeah, that's all. That's that about that. That's all I have to say about that because I don't know how it's going to. I don't know how it's going to be like 10 years from now because back in like back in 2018. 2017 was, I would say, one of the worst years of my life. Like one of the worst years of my life. But in retrospect, in retrospect, I think it was not that bad. It was not that bad at all because like since 2020, bro, it's like the world has, okay. There is this saying: "He who the gods want to kill, they first make mad." I don't know if anybody has heard of that before. And right now, it's looking like we have lost our minds. All of us collectively, we have all lost our minds. We are fucking. We are like the what they call it, the what is that saying again? The crazy people now run the asylum. Like we have all lost our minds. Since 2020, it's like the whole world has just fucking gone mad. And I don't know how it's going to. I don't know how it's going to be from, like, as we continue to progress. I don't even think we're progressing. I think we're digressing. We're no longer evolving. We are devolving, bro. Like we're not going forward. We're just going backward. You understand? I don't look. Just look at fucking the war going on in Russia. Sorry, the war going on in Ukraine, right? What? Okay. What is the point? Like, who is talking to Putin? Like, who is advising Putin? If really he has advisors, right? Who is advising him, and what are they telling him? And him too, you Putin. Like, what goes on in your head? You know what? I always wonder. I always ask myself, like, for example, I always ask myself, what goes on in the minds of people who are in power? Is it that they don't look, as in, is it like they always look up and they don't look down to really understand how reality works? So like you're just going to invade another country because you feel like you have the power to do so. Why? Why? Doesn't we're no longer in like the fucking 15th century where that was okay. I was reading this book, The Republic by Plato, right? So in the book, right, one of the reasons for war, right, one of the reasons that people go to war, that um should I say empires go to war with other empires, is to expand their resources. Basically, I'm not going to go into any detailed explanation about that. But the basic thing you should know about that is that empires go to war to expand their resources, basically. So, have you seen how fucking big Russia is? Like, Russia is like is the biggest country on earth. You understand? So, and the Russian people are living in poverty, and for it, you don't know how fucking cold it is. It's nationally cold in Russia. It's hellishly cold, as juxtaposed as that sound. It's hellishly cold in Russia, and people are fucking poor, and they are living in poverty, and they are ignorant, and this and that. Not everywhere, but most places. So instead of you to focus on that, right? Focus on taking care of what you already have. Why look for more where in places that don't belong to you? Doesn't, like, why? And isn't it sad that, oh, even before the war, the whole world feared Russia and heralded Russia as the second most powerful army in the world. They even have the nickname the Red Army. So everybody just thought that Russia is like is the second most powerful military power in the world, and nobody fucks with Russia, nobody messes with Russia. And then a country run by a comedian is giving them hell. He's giving them hell on earth. Like, yes, we know that Ukraine is receiving help from from basically America and other NATO allies, right? We know that. Cool, nice, great. But look at what the Russian military has. Like, their tanks don't work, their gear don't work. Like, I've seen so many, well, let me say, I've seen so many videos from the Russian front of soldiers deserting, soldiers with not enough ammo, not enough, no good uniforms, no good clothes. Their vehicles are running out of fuel. They don't have weapons. They don't have like gear. There's no. They use their phones for communication. They are open channels. Their phones with open channels for communication, making it very easy for them to be tracked. There is no discretion. There's like everything is just so fucking all over the place. There is no professionalism in with the Russian military. Meanwhile, in Russia, they are being fed this false propaganda that they are fucking up Ukraine and winning the war, and that they are liberating Ukraine from Nazis, and the Ukrainians are welcoming them with open arms. And this is what is being fed to the Russian people in Russia. And that's just, what is the point of authoritarianism? Please, that is my question. If anybody can help me answer, what actually is the point of authoritarianism? It doesn't make any sense. Isn't What will it take out of people? What will it take out of people in people in people in what will it take out of world government if they just told the truth? I know I'm sounding so naive, and the truth is like something that people in power find to be laughable, and you know it's like subtracting from what they think is absolute power. Is taking away from them from what they think is absolute power. That is the truth. But I don't see it any better than like being secretive and being mysterious and being so isolating and isolated and fucking just like in Animal Farm when what's his fucking name? What is the guy's name now in Animal Farm? Like the pig, that the antagonist. What's his name? There's Old Major, there's Squeaky, there's Snowball, there's I've forgotten his name. So the comrade. Hold on. Let me just Google the antagonist of Animal Farm. I've forgotten his name. Give me 1 second. I always forget. My brain is scrambled today. 1 second, guys. 1 second. And here we are. Please just Napoleon. I remembered. Yes, Napoleon. Comrade Napoleon. You know how he begins to isolate himself from the rest of the animals, right? So that's basically what world governments do. They just keep themselves isolated from basically reality, and so they don't get to know what is going on with life. And so that's what makes them do whatever they feel is right to do. Like I've heard that Putin is like he has isolated himself so like he has isolated himself so much that like he doesn't even know, really. He really doesn't know what's going on. He really doesn't know what's going on. And if you remember, and why is it that okay, there are two things I want to say. First thing I want to say is these authoritative powers, they always isolate themselves. That has already been established, right? And they keep themselves, they hide themselves. And it's not only with Putin. It has happened with Hitler. It has happened with Idi Amin, it has happened with what's his fucking name? Stalin. It has happened with uh I've forgotten this guy's name. But anyway, you get my point, right? So they always hide themselves. And then at the end of the day, when things go haywire, when things go south, they always die alone. You know, one of the saddest deaths that I've ever read about is Stalin. God damn. That guy died a very, very fucking sad death, man. He died alone. He died for, like, when he was like, when he fell, like, according to what I read, right? When he was found alone, basically. He was found alone in his room, and his the people next in command after him were so damn afraid of, like, moving forward to touch his body. They were so afraid of him that they couldn't even touch him. His body, his fucking he was drowning in his own vomit. Imagine the most powerful man in USSR at the time drowning in his own vomit. It's that his female cleaner had to be the one that came and pushed those men aside and, like, tried to take care of him. But at the end of the day, that nigga died, man. That nigga died in his own fucking vomit, man. Joseph fucking Stalin, one of the most fucked up human beings on earth. Listen, I read about Joseph Stalin. Do you think Hitler is evil? Hitler is not as evil as Stalin. Stalin starved 10 million people deliberately, starved them, and people were eating their children. God damn. People were literally eating their kids. Like, I don't know if you read about it anyway. It's gnarly. It's ghoulish. It's sad. It's horrible. People were so hungry in Ukraine back then when it was called USSR in, is it 1930? In the 1930s, that there was no food, there was nothing to chow, nothing to chow, basically. So people started, killing their loved ones who had. Let me just paint an easy picture for you. The loved ones who had starved to death, right, were hacked, and some of their parts were sold because some of the family members could not stand. Just you could not stand eating their fellow family members, so they had to, like, sell some of the body parts. But those who had the hearts, who, no pun intended, had the stomach for it, it's so imagine eating your child, and at the end of the day, Stalin had to say, please stop eating your children. Please stop eating. Like, it's a very interesting read. I will implore everybody to at least give it a try. It's nice, Sha. I'm not even going to lie. It's like, please stop eating your children. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You see, our history, our human history is, like, fucked up in more ways than one, bro. Like, we have done a lot of fucked up things since the dawn of man. And do you know what I think? I feel like if we're alone in this universe, right? If we're the only sentient, as as unassuming or as improbable as that sounds, if we're the only sentient life form in this 160 sextillion light year vast universe, then that means that we humans are an anomaly, because we like to claim that we like to claim that we're intelligent. We humans we like claiming that we're intelligent. What we mean by intelligent, we cannot even quantify, we cannot even define what we mean by intelligence, because a dog can sniff stuff 10 miles away That's intelligence. Like a fucking eagle can see, bats can see with sonar, snakes can see with infrared. That's intelligence. Dolphins have languages. They can sing. They smoke puffer fish and then they get high. Just the same way we smoke weed and get high. Like that's intelligence. Chameleons can change their skins. Lizards can grow limbs. Like that is intelligence. There are animals that can live for hundreds of years. Just because we are able to build concrete concrete prisons and glass houses and travel fast in metal boxes and that pollutes the world, pollutes the planet, and fucking we're able to. I'm going to give credit for that, but we are not the only and we are obviously not the only animals that can make music. There are birds can make music too. So just because we're able to do these things and we're able to um let me say do maths doesn't mean that we're intelligent. Do you understand? So um no, we're not as intelligent as we claim to be. At least not the current modern humans. We're not as intelligent as we claim to be. We are less intelligent. There are animals that are far more intelligent than we are, and just because we cannot be able to understand these animals doesn't mean that we're higher than them. At least that's just my opinion, and that's just the way I see things. So we humans are the anomaly in this. If we are alone in the universe, then we are an anomaly. And if we're the anomaly on this planet because every other thing on this planet works in unison with the planet. Every other thing, be it plant, be it animal, be it virus or fungi or bacteria, everything works in accordance with the planet, in uniformity with the planet. We are the only one that goes against the laws of the planet. We like to take and take and take and take and take and consume and consume and consume even without considering other life forms on this planet. We assume that we are we are we are it, basically. That's what we assume. We assume that this planet belongs to us and we can do whatever it is we want to do, which is a lie. Take away take away bees from just take away bees and we are going to go extinct faster than you can imagine. Take away flies, take away as pesky and as inconvenient as they are, take away mosquitoes. We are going to go extinct. Even though demographers estimate that the amount of humans that have ever lived, ever, is like 50 billion humans. God damn. What? That's how, why do I know that? Why do I know that? Demographers estimate that the amount of humans that have ever lived, ever, are estimated to be 50 billion, and half of them have been killed by mosquitoes. What the fuck? Half of the 50 billion humans that have ever lived have been killed by mosquitoes. But yet, if you take away mosquitoes today, all of us get wiped out. Don't ask me how. Just know that there are things on this planet, even though they might be inconvenient and uncomfortable, they keep us alive. So we are not the shit. No, we're not. Take away trees, bro, we cannot survive. I don't know if you guys, I don't know. There's this video I saw, right? There's this video I saw on Twitter of this guy hiking, and then he gets attacked by a bear, and then he was like at the edge of a mountain, or at the edge of a hill, and he was yelling. He had this primal yell, this primal shout in his voice. He was like shouting at the bear, and then the bear attacked him, and somehow by some act of the gods, he pushed the bear down the hill, and the bear like tried its best to like get back up to, like, the bear really wanted to eat this man, like really. The bear like saw dinner that evening and really wanted to eat this guy, but luckily for the man, he was not eaten by the bear. Now, one question is, tell me why you go hiking and you not go with a gun. At least we are. See, this is why I say we are not intelligent. We humans. This is why I say we are not intelligent. Why will you that claim to be intelligent, right? Do you know how strong the scent of a bear is? The scent of a bear is 900 times stronger than the scent of man. That means that. So, okay, let's not even go into that. Why will you not go to? You're going hiking. You've carried your bag. You've carried your camera to snap and show your Instagram followers that you're one with nature, whatever the fuck that means. Why won't you go with a gun? Because you're not the shit. If I find myself in a situation where I have to, where I, bro, I cannot go without a gun. Even I cannot go without a gun. Go with a gun. That is one good thing that man, man has. Whichever way he sees, I like to see guns as good. I see guns as a positive, right? Because if not for guns, um, a lot would have gone wrong. A whole lot would have gone wrong with the human race if not for guns. So I like to see guns as a positive. So that's one of the good things, one of the best inventions that we have so far. So why won't you go? Why will you go hiking without a gun, right? So so uh, take away trees, or let's say you just find yourself in the forest, right? Just like how that guy happened to find himself in that forest. You're not going to survive because you're too, humans are so fucking weak. We're so fucking weak. Listen, a a deer gives birth, right? And then the little, what's it called, foal. What's the child of a deer called? The foal, right? A deer gives birth and the foal automatically knows how to walk and how to like run away from predators. Most animals can do that, except humans. Like human babies are the most useless creatures. Human babies, as cute and as whatever we have socially assigned to them as they're the most useless creatures on this planet. They cannot fend for themselves. They cry, they make noise, they attract predators. I don't even know how we managed to survive this long when we started off as babies. Like, how did we even manage to like survive? Because babies cry and babies are fucking annoying. Listen, I don't like babies. I like toddlers. I like little kids. I don't like I don't like babies because babies are practically objectively useless. That's just the fact. Sorry, you might find me harsh. You might find what I'm saying harsh. This is my own opinion. Babies are objectively useless because um they cannot walk, they cannot see, they cannot fend for themselves, they cannot run away, they are useless for like the first first 3 years of their lives. Useless. Utterly useless. And most of them died. Many, like most babies back, like when during the early stages of man's development, right? Most babies died. If you've read, there's this book, the origin of the states. What's the name of this fucking book? But it basically talks about the stages of fucking man's development, right? Starting from savagery to barbarism to civilization. So the origin of the family, the private property, and the states. Yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting the names of books I read, or forgetting key points of whatever point I want to make concerning any book that I've read. I don't know why. Like for example, now, why did I forget the name of this book? The origin of the family, the private property, and the state. A book that I've read like 3 times. Why now? Why did I now forget it? So anyway, it's talking about how useless babies are, right? And how 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 many babies were mauled by bears. Anyway, so put yourself in a fucking forest, right? You're utterly useless. Put yourself in a desert without water, without blankets, without any form, any way to survive. You're useless. So we like to claim that we're the shit, like we're the dominant species or dominant life form in this world. We're not. That's just the truth about it. And for the religious people that think that their deity put them in this world to multiply and take dominion of the world. They're just lying. You are just lying to yourselves. You're nothing. Because take away one thing from this planet, and it's like this planet is like a house of cards. So just take away one part of the building, and the whole thing just comes crushing or falling down, whatever. So, um, I cannot remember where this this train of thoughts started from, but what I do know is that we we should we I don't know where we're going to I don't know where we're heading from here, but I like to believe that we always start from just like entropy. Everything starts from a place of chaos and then gets to a place of order, right? So, but it has to be a deliberate act because everything is naturally, sorry about that, everything is naturally chaotic. Like, say, everything starts from a place of chaos, like I said before, that's the best way I can explain it. And then there has to be a deliberate um, act of changing chaos, of turning chaos into order. So I like to think that we all start from a place of ignorance to a place of being informed. And we are in that transition of trying to be informed, right? So, but one of the last vestiges of ignorance being the Russian government, being the Iranian government, being the Nigerian government, being in North Korea, being any government at all, because there is no government. Well, let me see. Let me be let me be particular about this. Let me be careful with my words. You cannot say that no. Well, let me see. Let's say maybe the Danish government. They are they are okay. They're good. The Finnish, the Norwegian, the fucking uh Australia. No, I don't think. But you get my point, right? So most governments are corrupt. Most governments are just bad. So I like to think that the last vestiges of ignorance are most governments. So I don't know how it's going to be like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because back in 2017, when I thought that that was like the worst year of my life, looking back now, it was a pretty good year, right? In relation to all that has been happening these past 2 years. Okay. So, so we hope, I hope that things get better, because if things don't get better then we are fucked. Because okay, now there's something called MAD, mutually assured destruction. It was like it's an agreement that the powers with nuclear power, the countries with nuclear power, right, decided that nobody is going to use any nuclear bombs, because if you do, then there is going to be a mutually assured destruction. If you send a nuke to my country, I'm going to send a nuke to your country, and then we're going to destroy everything. Destroy, let's destroy everything. Let everybody rest. So basically, that's what it is. But now, reports that have been coming in, like this is not even news. Like it's old news, right? The rumor is that Putin has bone cancer and he has always had bone cancer. I don't know how true this is, so, but it's a rumor, it's a report that people are that's coming in now. So remember how Hitler, I don't know if you've read Ordinary Men. That's one of the that's one of the craziest books I've read in my life. Ordinary Men. Listen, um, I'm going to be ending the podcast soon because I've been talking for a while now. But I just want to make this point. After I read that book, right, Ordinary Men, I I stopped calling, like I've actually never even referred to myself as a good person. But after I read that book, I became conscious of the fact that no, I am not a good person. And people who claim to be good people are ignorant because you don't know what you can do until the opportunity presents itself. Like you think you're a good person, but if you happen to find yourself in a situation where being bad is not only encouraged but applauded, bro, you're going to do unspeakable evil. And that is because that is the nature of human beings. We are fucking savages. Do you understand? We are fucking crazy. So I don't like to think of myself as a good person because to tell me that 500 ordinary policemen from Police Battalion 101 in that this is according to what happened in the book, right? Killed about more not killed, murdered, slaughtered about what is it called? 50,000 Jews and Polish people. 50,000, how 500 men, not 50,000, sorry, 45,000 um, Jews. Like they enter a village, they bring everybody out. The women, they were shooting pregnant women, bro. They were killing pregnant women. They were murdering people. They were murdering so many people that they murdered, bro. God damn. If you have not read that book, I'm not going to fuck you. I'm not going to fuck up your day by telling you the kind of atrocities that man is capable of. I'm not going to fuck up your day. But if you if you feel like you have the stomach for it, you can actually go and read the book Ordinary Men. That's not even the craziest book. The other crazy book, like I'm so fascinated by I'm so fascinated by the history of World War II and the history of the just I'm so fascinated by what Germany did in World War II. I'm just so fascinated by it. So I like reading books I like reading books that tell the stories of what people went through, especially the Jews back then. So there's this book I'm currently reading now called The Theory and Practice of Hell. Bro. The name of the book is The Theory and Practice of Hell. That's all I have to say about this book. That's all I have to say about it. So if you feel like you have the stomach for it, you can grab these two books, The Theory and Practice of Hell, and what is the other one? What is the other one I just called now? Ordinary Men. So this book just they detail the atrocities that that Nazis committed during the war in 1945. So to close this podcast, we are not good. We are not good. We're not good people, but at least we can try to be better than we were yesterday. And yes, my point, the point I was trying to make before, that made me bring up this book and made me bring up Hitler. Remember during the end of the war, right, when Hitler was beginning to understand that he was losing, and so he decided that he's going to fuck he's going to fuck everything up, and he does not care anymore. He's going to cause as much damage as he possibly can, and that is why that book Ordinary Men exists, because these 400 ordinary they were old men. They were not even young soldiers. They were just old retired policemen that were tasked to go into villages and fuck people up. So he wanted to cause as much damage as he possibly could before he offed himself. At least that is what we are told to believe, that Hitler killed himself. But there are rumors that he was actually smuggled to South America, right? One of those countries, Argentina or something. So, but I don't know how credible that is, but the narrative is that Hitler killed himself and he caused so much damage before he did that. So now that we know that, now that there are rumors that Putin, this crazy man called Putin, has bone cancer, and the whole world is closing in on him, and it feels like he's losing the war, he's losing his grip on Ukraine. It is very possible that he's going to deploy that nuclear warhead. If this guy does that stuff, then we are all fucked. And to be honest, I don't see it going any other way. Because have you ever thought of how this war is going to end? It's going to end one of two ways. Either some, either some crazy ass, either some mad Navy SEALs go on some impossible mission to take Putin out, like they did Osama bin Laden. Wait, let me ask you guys one question. Remember October 20th, 2020, during NSAS? Do people remember that? If you can remember it, please let me know. Do you know that while we were shouting NSAS, do you know that Navy SEALs were in Nigeria rescuing a hostage from Boko Haram? Do you know that? Do you know that they were in Nigeria? God damn! Do you know that they were in Nigeria rescuing while we were in Lagos? When we were in Lagos shouting NSAS, the Navy SEALs were in Nigeria rescuing an American hostage. And they fucked up those Boko Haram people and they left quietly and nobody knew. It was Oga Trump that tweeted it that there was a successful mission in Nigeria. That is how we knew that Navy SEALs were in Nigeria. That's how we knew. So it would take some crazy ass Navy SEALs, bro, to go into Russia and fuck Putin up. And then maybe Biden Biden will now announce it that there was a mission that took Putin out. So it can go either that way, or Putin will just like press the red button and nuke. And it's not going to be only Ukraine that he will nuke, obviously. I mean, if I was Putin, it's not going to be Ukraine is not going to be the only place I will nuke. At least I'll cause as much damage as I can before I'm finally taken out, right? So that's just me, or that's me, that's what I'm going to do personally. But let us just hope that it doesn't come to that. But I don't see it going any other way. I don't see them coming to an understanding on a common ground. You understand? I don't see Putin and Zelensky sitting down and talking things. So it's not going, maybe in an alternate universe it might happen. But right here, right now, I don't see it happening. So here is a secret for you. I am neither drunk or high. I just wanted to, but I am high, but I'm filled with so much fucking energy drink right now because I've been gaming, and the new Warzone 2.0 just came out, and I've been crazy about it, and I've been playing that game for like 20,000 hours a day. So I'm filled with fucking energy drink right now, and so I decided, you know what? I want to know what it feels like to like just rant and just talk without being high or drunk. Fun fact, I've not had a drink this entire month. I just wanted to see if I'm actually an alcoholic. Turns out I might not be an alcoholic because I'm not drunk this month, and I don't even want to drink. I don't even feel the need to drink. Like I'm not being forced or pushed, or it's like I don't need it that much. So I'm just testing myself. You don't know what you're, like I said before, you don't know what you're capable of doing until the opportunity presents itself. Look at me. I used to think I was a fucking drunk, but turns out I am not. Glory be to God. So I am neither drunk or high. I'm just myself, and I'm able to do this. So if I am able to do it, then I'm just going to continue doing it like that. But I feel like I do it better and I do it best when I'm fucking high. I mean, that's the theme of the podcast, right? Bear with me. So yeah, I just thought you guys should know that. So thank you for your time. Thank you for spending your 1.5 hour with me. Um uh what else? There's nothing else to say. Just follow. Thank you for your support. Actually, don't forget to fucking rate the podcast and share with your friends. I feel like this one came out good. Again, I'm sorry for the last one, man. The last one, the audio quality was piss poor. So, but I feel like this one came out good, right? Good. So help me share this and continue your support. Thank you very much for your support, guys. I cannot appreciate you guys enough. So yeah, I'm going to be doing it like this more often. Um, all right then. Good night. If I believed in God, I'll say God bless, but I don't. So get the fuck out of here, my niggas. Bye bye. All right.